You said that a man that takes care of another man's child is weak. That's what you said. Can you please explain why?
It's not, that's not your child, that's not your responsibility. Your intentions may be in the right place, but it's not, you're not going to benefit from it. It is very rare. I know y'all love to use Shaq as an example.
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal, I think he wasn't raised with his biological
Oh
father.
yeah, right.
But how often does that
And
happen?
LeBron.
That is, yeah, that's very rare. And even so, children deserve both of their biological parents, which is why it's imperative for both men and women, but mainly women, because there's more women out here with children out of wedlock than men. Pick the right person the first time.
So now, what if that doesn't happen?
I don't know what to tell you. Focus
No,
on
no, no,
yourself.
no,
Focus
no,
on
no,
your
no, no,
child.
no, no, no. Because you can't say. So you're saying that every man that takes care of another man's child is weak.
Yes.
It is impossible for every man to grow up. Well, right now, as we're talking, every man does not have a man in their life, or every child and every boy and every girl does not have a man in their life. So, who's supposed to take that role as the man in that life?
The biological father. If the
Okay,
biological father is not there,
then
maybe.
Okay, well there you have it. We saw the clip that went viral, and we do have L, which was the woman that you saw in the clip. So I do want to give you this opportunity to speak on it. If it's anything that we missed, anything you wanted to add, the floor is yours.
Nope, I meant what I said.
Okay, remember what you said, um,
Well,
Mr.
but
Burns.
behind the stage, you were saying something. You were saying
Oh, that applies
it
for men.
applied
That
to
applies for
women.
applies for men and women. I'm a woman. I'm childless. I'm not. I refuse to play stepmommy to anybody's child. If I'm gonna raise a child, it's gonna be my own. I don't even. I don't date men with children. For what? I don't have any kids. I would prefer to be with someone who doesn't have kids either. I don't. I don't see how I would benefit from raising an egg I didn't hatch.
Okay, Red Couch, Mr. Burns. You were the one asking her the question, and you heard what she had to say on that particular clip, and you hearing what she has to say right now. I would like to get your thoughts on it, sir. And you muted, just so you know. I can't hear you. You muted. You muted. Got to unmute. Um, once you try to do this, try to go back in, come back out. I think when you get a phone call, sometimes. Are you on your phone? No, you're not on your phone. Just try to go back out and come back in, and we'll start there. Okay. Sorry about the apologies. You know, we are doing a live stream. Um, I want to go to. Let me go to. Go ahead, El. You want to say something? You came off the mic.
Oh no, no.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Bruiser. I'm gonna get your thoughts on this, sir. So, well, hold on one second. He just came back up. Mic
hear me
check.
now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
No, hold on one second, Bruiser. Go ahead, Burn.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Sure.
now. Go ahead.
You can hear me now. So, as a disclaimer, my phone is going off the hook. So that's what's happening right now. So that's why you it's like it's crazy. So many notifications. Um, so I would say the reason why I asked her the question is because we have this argument all the time. And a lot of people tore her up in the comments. They tore her up, boy. I'm telling you, a whole lot of negativity.
They try.
Um, well, right, exactly, because she's gonna speak for herself, but just right now, I would say that she's not really the type of person that's phased by it at all. She speaks her mind. That is the type of person that she is. So, and she's stuck on that thing right there. I do not agree. I believe that um, men that take care of other women's children or other men's children, because obviously it was made by two people, child was made by two people, are very strong. I myself have had bad experience. Here's the contradiction, is that I've had bad experiences with women with children, and that have taken advantage of me in the past. And so that's kind of where like I get some of her points when she talks about this on this level. But on that level, as far as being weak, no, I believe that we are strong when we help our women out, because sometimes men can end up in some weird situations, jail, death, just, you know, they live down the street and they just don't want to be in their child's life, whatever it is. Like, we should be there to help our people out, and that's it. It's like what a lot of people in the comments said, it takes a village to raise a child. We always heard that growing up. So yeah, that's how I feel.
I have a question. Why does it make a man weak? Like, what is your definition of weakness in that aspect?
L.
Is that for L or for Burns?
Yeah, that's for L.
Okay. L, go ahead.
Check the comments real quick.
Oh, okay. She's yeah.
The back check?
Yeah, it's in the back chat. Like, it's what she
Can
said.
talk and drive? I get it when you can't text and drive, but talk and drive, that's a different one right there.
No, maybe her phone is on her lap, and it's the job that she does. But she'll come back in. Trust me, she'll come back in.
Yeah.
All
right. I want to go and get another perspective until she's in a safe place to respond. Go ahead, Bruiser. What are your thoughts? Let me ask this: is there anybody that agrees with L? Does anybody agree? Is everybody against it? Okay, so nobody agrees with her. Bruiser, go ahead and give your take on it.
I mean, I agree to an extent that men who do that, but it need to be some context behind it, and I think that's what Red Couch was trying to get her to.
Okay. So let me add a little bit more. She also said that there's no benefit from it. There is no benefit. There is no way that a man will benefit off of raising another man's child. There's no way that anyone would benefit off of the situation. And specifically, she said, yeah, that's basically it. That's what she said. And so her point is, I think that people kind of took it out of context also in a way, because she's coming from her standpoint of her beliefs in the Bible. And she's gonna look, I saw the faces, and saw the faces. So she's gonna explain that when she comes in, because a lot of people use the argument and said Joseph took care of Jesus, right? And you know, that wasn't his father. God was his father, or Immaculate Conception. But she said that Jesus wasn't born out of sex, right? So, you know, if you watch the whole video itself, if you go back and watch it, you know, whoever's on the chat, whoever's watching right now, if you ever get a chance to go back and watch the video, she explains herself, and also the full video will be dropping on March 1st. But yeah, that's the context of it. And there were people that agreed with her. There was a lot of men that agreed with her, that just basically said, you know, according to the scripture, you should be raising your own child. And what I did tell her when I first met her, I said, in a perfect world, if you start from the beginning, like day one, yes, we should all be raising our own children. So your argument then would stick at that point on day one. But right now, at this moment, that's not the case. It's 2023. And obviously there are a lot of children without fathers in their life. And she also made a statement that said there are more children that are born out of wedlock. This is where the internet went crazy. This is where everybody was like, what? She said there are more children that are born out of wedlock with women than men. And everybody was like, what? Like, how is that possible? Like, it takes two to have a baby. So I think that what she was trying to say, and maybe she's going to be able to explain herself in a minute, but I think that what she was trying to say is that the women end up with the children for the most part. You know, like if you were to gather up all the women in the world and all of the people that have children together and the people that have separated, you would see that for the most part, the woman would end up with the child. The man, we're running around, you know, we're having multiple children by multiple women. This is what, you know, her concept of it is. So I still disagree with it on a little bit, because I was like, a woman could have multiple kids by a man or multiple men. You know what I'm saying? So that was the context of the whole thing.
Okay. Go ahead, Bruce. I know you was talking and want to make sure I allow you the opportunity to finish. Go ahead.
So basically, she's saying weak men raise stepkids. Kids need their biological fathers. No benefit from it. First thing I'd say is, you know, because of the society we live in today, parents are raising young men, you know, up to be. I mean, I know they don't like to use talking points or key terms, but there's a term for it, and they call it beta males. But these guys usually embrace the stepfather role. They balance authority in committed relationships. They embrace liberal views that is currently going toward a way to emasculate the man. But we need them. I would say that. So I wouldn't say there's no benefit from it. I would say we absolutely need them, because the kids need a father role model in the household. They just do. There's data, there's stats that back up the fact that whenever there's a male role model in the household, the kids do well. They do a lot better. It's almost like day and night. So having a father figure in the household, not necessarily the biological father, but it at least covers some issues that could arise in the kid's future as far as trauma. So I would disagree with her to say there's no benefit from it. So.
And she also just put in the back room, she said a father, not a father figure.
Can is somebody else gonna go? Because I completely disagree.
I was waiting for somebody.
I think a man who, I mean, if it's a man, you know what I'm saying, he don't have any.
Can I say? Please, somebody say something.
Can I say something?
So first, I would say that I've heard this comment from men before. Can you guys hear me?
I wasn't finished, but it's all good. Go ahead. They playing double dutch over there. Let them go.
Hold on. Go ahead, Bruce, and finish. And when you finish,
finish, my brother. I got your back, Bruce.
There's a single mother epidemic going on. That's the reason why I say we need these type of guys. I feel like it's a charitable move, a charitable gesture to step into the position of a father for someone else who's not there. And it could be many reasons why the man is not there. It could be the fact that he don't want to be there. It could be the fact that in most cases, the woman just run the man completely out. And that's my opinion on it. I might not agree with that, but I've done research and all studying, and in most cases, these women are running these men out. That's why I say, you know what I'm saying, there is some benefit from another man to come and step in. And y'all go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Over.
So I've heard comments like this from men before. And it's kind of curious because men will agree with men. If a woman says it, then it's like, oh, no. But I understand that part. I disagree with her. But then when she said that she doesn't have any kids and she will not raise a kid and she's not open to it, then that makes sense what she's saying, because she hasn't seen herself in the reality of needing a father for her kid. So when you haven't been in that position, you cannot be empathetic to that, you know, in that scenario. Also, when he asked the question, you know, like, so what are we going to do with all these kids that need a father? She's like, well, I don't know what to say. That's not solution oriented. Like, you know, just the way I see it is like you're here to bring a solution, not to make it worse. Like you cannot, be born again and or erase your past and no, you're gonna make it better. You're here to improve. We all make mistakes. We're humans, and you cannot just spit up and think like this could not happen to you because it
I'm
can.
here.
Or it can. No, I'm not saying to you directly. You have your opinion, and
I'm just
I
saying.
respect it. I'm saying there is not.
Like you
It's
can
fine.
talk now.
There's a lot of people that
Let's let her
there's a
finish.
lot of
Yeah, we're gonna let her finish, and then I know Kelly Connections had a question for you, L, and then we'll move it like that. Go ahead, sir.
so I respect the opinion. It's just that it's not just her. It's not just her opinion. There's a lot of people who think this way, So I understand Red Couch point where and Bruiser as well that there's kids that need their father, and I think the problem is when that father is not doing the right thing, or that woman is not doing the right thing as well, because there's a lot of women that take advantage of men like this, and there's also men that comes to a woman's life not respecting the kids and thinking that they're not being a model, a father to follow, the leader that needs to be. And I'm saying it from a personal experience. My father raised a kid that is not his kid, and he calls him dad, and he's my brother. So, when you have been in that situation, then you think differently. But when you haven't, you can't empathize with none of this. That's it.
All right, go ahead, Kelly Connection, and extra question to L.
So my question is, what makes a man weak that does that?
Why do you? Because you are taking it upon yourself to clean up a mess that you did not make. That's not your responsibility. That woman, whoever had that baby, right? A lot of these women, they only want a good man after they have a baby by a man that they should have never dealt with. Now, you're going to take it upon yourself to come and clean up a mess that she made because she was being reckless with her coochie, and you're not going to benefit. How many stepdads are in sexless marriages? So if you choose the wrong person, that's on you.
So I guess my issue with the way that you're speaking about it is we're not talking about the woman and the man, the two adults. We're talking about the children. And I don't consider children to be a mess. So they are the side effect of the decisions that the two adults make. So that's my issue with it. And I feel like, yes, you should get married before you have sex. You should stay with the person that you married and raise your family together. But the reality is that isn't happening. Do I agree biblically that should happen? Yes. But what about the widow? What about the woman whose husband died? And what about the woman that's abused? She should stay with this man and work it out. Like there are scenarios outside of that where that kid still needs a father figure. My parents were foster parents to children that didn't have parents. And you can still pour into children. You can still love children. You can still build children up. You can still raise them to be amazing people. And maybe they do need another person in their life. I think it's strength. I don't think it's weakness. Do I think people should just be recklessly having sex and having children outside of wedlock? Absolutely not. But I don't think children should be the side effect of all this reckless business that adults are doing, and then they just be left to the wayside. So my issue is the fact that we're talking about children. I don't think it's weak.
You got a point, Kelly.
Kids. Huh?
You got a point, Kelly. The benefit is for the children. It's not for the actual stepfather that's taking the role.
Exactly.
Me personally, I'm with Lil Original. He specifically don't have any benefit, but the benefit is for the child. And that's good because that's the sacrifice that we as humans need to be able to make for these kids' future, is to be able to put ourselves aside, to be able to look at the children and say, hey, look, I'm gonna put myself behind and secondary, and I'm gonna put the kids primary. And that's a noble move, you know what I'm saying? But to each his own. Me personally, if what makes the man weak is if you have the ability, and the means to create your own family from your own seed, and then you deviate from that by taking care of someone else's, is a cop out. It makes you weak. But I do understand there's children out there that come from war casualties, soldiers who go overseas and they die, and these women, they try to, continue their life and find a man to fill that void. That's okay. But I don't think she's talking to those brothers. I think she's talking to these guys out here that's simping. They see a woman that looks beautiful. She got a nice ass, some nice tits on her. She got 3 little rugrats running around, and they willing to take one for the team and just to go get some ass. it ain't no benefit from in that situation.
Well,
They can get all the Capri Suns and all the Debbie cakes they want off of her government assistance. It's just no benefit.
I do have one more thing.
She gonna clean it up though. We're gonna be able to know for sure if that's what she mean or not though, Bruce.
I do have one more thing to say because they were talking about from a biblical standpoint. Biblically,
I never said that being a step parent was a sin. Let me just clear that up. I never said biblically that being a step parent was a sin. You can choose to do so if you want to. It's not against the Bible to be a step parent. I just cannot fathom why anyone would do it.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. I was saying
no, that's what he said
in the
Reverend,
Old Testament. In the Old Testament, it was customary. In the Old Testament, it was customary that if a man dies, if the woman was a widow, that the next man came in, the next of kin came in and took care of the children and the wife. Even if he was single, he was supposed to take her on as his wife. And if he was already married, he was supposed to financially care for them. That was the Hebraic way to do it.
I'm not speaking about widows. And if we're going to be honest, most Black women are not widows. Most Black women are baby mamas. So even if we use the widow term, it doesn't apply to most Black women. How you going to be a widow if you wasn't married to begin with? I'm not going to put myself to the side to take care of nobody's child because that's not my responsibility. The only way, and I spoke about foster children. If a married couple wants to take in foster kids, that's fine. If a married couple is having fertility issues and they can't have kids of their own, but they want to take in foster care kids, that's fine. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. If a man wants to be with a widow, that's fine. Under no circumstances would I do it. But if somebody wants to do it, that's on them. Am I gonna put myself to the side and take on another life as my responsibility when it's not mine and I don't get nothing out of it? I don't benefit from it. No, absolutely not. That's not even logical. And that mentality of it takes a village to raise a child is exactly why people are out here having kids however they want to, and that is the exact excuse that they use when they want somebody to babysit their kids so they can go to the club and find somebody else to have a baby by.
But love, really, you damn sure bust open if you had kids.
Hold on.
But what about people who was married?
What about them?
Say if they got divorced,
not widow. And divorce is against the Bible too. I can post the scriptures later on. Divorce is against the Bible. When you get married, it's too different.
Let's leave the Bible where the Bible is. But people do get divorced.
I'm gonna always
people do a lot of shit that's in the Bible. So I mean,
that's on them.
We need to stop that bullshit.
That's on them. If a person gets married and they do not understand what God's criteria for marriage is, because honestly, if people knew what the Bible said about marriage, a lot of people wouldn't do it. So if you go into what is supposed to be a holy union where you're going before God and you don't have no clue what his prerequisite is or what his expectations are for the union that you're about to get in, that's on you if you find out later on. Anything we do, we have to hold ourselves accountable.
So if they get divorced and then they turn around and get remarried, say 4, 5,
that's
10
adultery.
years down the road.
According to the Bible, I will post the scriptures. When you get married, you are bound till death. If you divorce is against the Bible, you're not even supposed to seek for a way out of your marriage. If you get married and then you take it upon yourself to remarry while your first spouse is living, your first spouse is the spouse that you are bound to until death. So if your first spouse is living and you remarry while your first spouse is living, that second so-called marriage is actually adultery.
Ma'am, do you think half the people in the world living by the Bible?
She's not right.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just don't.
No, but I'm asking. I'm talking about majority, ma'am. I understand that. I understand your personal belief, but I'm talking about in general. Do you think they living by the Bible?
Nope.
Most of them say fuck that Bible. It's just a book of
that's
story.
On them. I understand exactly what you're saying, but that's on them. And if that's the mentality that they have, F the Bible, good. So then when the consequences come from the decisions that you made, make sure that you clean them up by yourself. Don't be looking to the Lord, who you weren't concerned about before. Don't be looking to the Lord to help you out because you weren't concerned or seeking him beforehand.
No, you can't.
They're also not.
I gotta jump in
we
there
all
really
make
quick.
mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I completely get that. But whenever I make a mistake, the only person that has to deal with the consequences is me. I'm not out here having kids and dragging innocent kids into any sin that I commit. And when I do make a mistake, I'm not expecting for somebody else to come and help me clean up a mess that I made.